What it do? Dream Team, it's your boy D Neil back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with why every nation is becoming a fan of India. Before we dive in, make sure you guys subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
India is changing. The idea of India, the country, is changing. Not because it's the fastest growing economy,
God
not
dang.
because we have the largest population. Those are great stats, don't get me wrong, but I want to talk about India's influence, India standing in the world, and the world's opinion of India changing. See, 30 to 40 years ago, if you ask someone from the US or Europe, they'd know India for its culture, spicy food, and yoga. I mean, those are good things to be known for, but when you're a country with ambitious goals like becoming the next global superpower, then I'm sorry, but spicy food and Surya Namaskars are not enough. No
That ain't
offense
enough,
to
you
yoga
feel me?
influencers, you guys are great. See, today when you ask the same people or their leaders what is their idea of India, you will get a different answer. Take the current superpower USA's stance with India in 1971. The US provided diplomatic and military support to Pakistan during the war against India. But today, the US is one of India's close allies and one of their top defense and securities company, Lockheed Martin, has partnered with Tata to manufacture F-21 jets right here in India. So what led to US doing this complete 180 degrees? How did a prime minister become friends with the most feared man in the world? And why is Deepika Padukone presenting the FIFA World Cup? How did a nation known for its food and culture become known for its power, mainly its soft power?
How you feel? India said we on the rise. We becoming the next global superpower, and all the countries around the world is being put on notice. All the countries around the world seeing what India doing and say, hey, we want to be cool with India. Hey, we like what India doing over there. Hey, India, y'all got any tips for us?
I'm Atina Maya, and in this video, I'm going to answer all these questions for you. The growth of India's soft power has happened over many decades through small and big steps and some incredible leaps. In this video, I want to cover these 3 leaps that got India here and a bonus one if you stick around till the end. Before we get into how India grew its soft power, let's understand what is this soft power. Soft power is a lot of things including influence, persuasion, reputation, and the ability to get something done without force. Here's an example for you guys.
अरे मेरा राजा बेटा सो रहा है, ये देख मम्मी ने दाल चावल बनाया है, खा ले। छी बाबा, क्या बोरिंग खाना है, दाल चावल खा खा के मेरे दिमाग का चावल बन गया है। ऐसा कर, फटाफट से दाल चावल खा ले, नहीं तो तेरी पॉकेट मनी कट कर दूंगा। ओ सॉरी पापा, कितना टेस्टी खाना है।
I swear to God. I said, hey, you threatening to take something away, you feel me? Oh, this rice is some of the best rice I've made in the world. I could eat this rice every day, every meal for the rest of my life. You feel all it takes is that threat for something to be taken away.
So this is a very simple and straightforward example to explain you what soft power means. But what if we take this to the next level? A real life example, the first leap involving COVID vaccines and Apple's iPhones. In 2020 and 2021, during the pandemic, the world needed vaccines and it needed them immediately. And there were very, very few places in the world from where you could manufacture these vaccines quickly, cheaply, and at an enormous scale. There were actually really just 2 options, that's India and China. China got the head start with Sinopharm and Sinovac, but they lost their advantage because these Chinese vaccines faced skepticism because there was no transparency in their clinical trial data and their efficacy rates were lower compared to other vaccines such as Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca, Oxford. Now, these factors led to hesitation among countries to accept these Chinese vaccines. This is where Indian vaccines come into play. This is an example of soft power of India. India has a nickname for pharmacy of the world, all thanks to the Serum Institute of India, or the SII. The SII partnered with AstraZeneca to produce Covishield, also called AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. Covishield vaccine showed efficacy and safety in clinical trials and gained international approval and emergency use authorizations. India, in fact, exported Covishield to many of its neighbors, to the Middle East, to African nations, and even to Brazil.
आजा आजा मुन्ना आजा।
Dang.
ब्राजील।
सर, मैं नहीं कर सकता सर। कोविड के टाइम पे उन्होंने हमको वैक्सीन्स दी थी।
वे कम खत शूट मैं नहीं कर सकता। क्यों? हमारे देश में सारे CEOs इंडियन ही हैं।
Oh, everything.
नहीं, मैं ये नहीं कर सकता। क्यों? क्योंकि हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर ही तो इंडियन है।
This role of vaccine.
Because our prime minister himself is Indian. India, USA, like every CEO in our country is Indian. And Brazil, cause they gave us the vaccines like that. India got connections with everybody. He knew he's sitting in that chair handing these other countries a gun. He was good. He was good because they all love India. India done did something in the past for them, or India doing something in the present, and they got those connections.
Provider during this global pandemic strengthened its ties with many nations and increased India's soft power a lot. This transparency and trust in India's manufacturing in this space has led to many more opportunities for different industries. Like manufacturing iPhones in India. Last year, India made 3% of the world's iPhones, and this year it's predicted to increase to 6 to 7%. And over the years, it'll be even more because US wants to completely shift its manufacturing from China to India. That is more jobs for Indians and one more layer of friendship with the US. India is truly becoming the epicenter of all sorts of innovation. And speaking of innovation, here's one from India's startup ecosystem called Multiple that you should definitely look out for.
ये है आम जिंदगी। तो मुझे ना हनीमून के लिए मालदीव्स जाना है। What do you suggest? Bro, EMI पे चले जा। 15 to 30% ज़्यादा पे करना पड़ेगा, पर इंस्टॉलमेंट ले ले, कोई इशू नहीं। हाँ यार, और कोई ऑप्शन भी तो नहीं है। और ये है मल्टीपल जिंदगी। इन्वेस्ट कर ले ब्रो फॉर योर हनीमून। इन्वेस्ट फॉर अ हनीमून? मुझे तो लगता था इन्वेस्टमेंट बस रिटायरमेंट के लिए होती है और स्पेंडिंग के लिए तो EMI है ना। ब्रो, देयर इज अ न्यू एंड स्मार्टर ऑप्शन नाउ। यू कैन इन्वेस्ट फॉर ऑल योर बिग एक्सपेंसेस and earn returns from the investment market before you spend. मतलब हनीमून ट्रैवल पे मार्केट रिटर्न्स? Yes bro, and there's more. Best travel brands जैसे कि Make My Trip और Ease My Trip तुम्हारे साथ को इन्वेस्ट करेंगे for your honeymoon. क्या? Can you repeat that? For example, तुम्हें मालदीव जाना है 6 महीने के बाद and वहाँ का खर्चा है 2 lakhs. So you only need to invest rupees 1.75 lakhs in 6 installments and considering 8% return per annum मिलेगा तुम्हें मार्केट से which equals rupees 4,000. एंड ब्रांड को इन्वेस्ट करेगा 12%, जिससे अर्निंग होगी 21,000. सो योर टोटल अर्निंग्स इज 25,000 रुपीज. सो यू आर बेसिकली पेइंग ओनली रुपीज 1.75 lakhs फॉर योर 2 lakh का मालदीव्स ट्रिप. वाओ! और हम ये करेंगे कैसे? थ्रू मल्टीपल. मल्टीपल ऐप इज वर्ल्ड्स फर्स्ट इन्वेस्ट टू स्पेंड ऐप, जहां आप कोई भी फ्यूचर एक्सपेंस जैसे कि ट्रैवल, गैजेट, वेडिंग एक्सेट्रा के लिए इन्वेस्ट करके स्पेंड कर सकते हैं. Also, Multiple is SEBI registered investment advisory backed by companies like Kotak Securities, IIFL, and Bloom Ventures.
Now I need to check this out. Hold up. I usually don't pay no attention to promotions or ads in the videos, but I like the sound of this one right here. You feel me? You can start investing in stuff for like trips you want to make in the future, maybe 6 months down the line, 7 months. You can start investing now, pay those installments, and you end up paying less for the trip because you're investing. Oh,
सही है यार ये तो. And not just that, you get crazy rewards, cashbacks, and jackpots every week for saving smartly. भाई अब फटाफट मुझे ये बता दे कि इसको डाउनलोड कहाँ से करना है. Check the special link in the description and download this
I'm gonna look at this
Invest to Spend app now.
The second leap in India's soft power is through its people and money. The people I'm talking about are the Indian diaspora that live abroad, the NRIs and the OCIs. You've seen them on Netflix and some of them
love her in her show. Oh my god, I was obsessed with that freaking show. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Aevy was goated. Aevy was definitely awesome. That show, I could watch it again and again and again and again.
Run the biggest tech companies in the US. Now I know that these people are officially citizens of another country, but nevertheless this contributes to the brand value of India globally. I mean, one of them is a leader of an entire nation, a nation whose ancestors once colonized us. Can you imagine the reverse happening in India? In the financial year 2022, India received the highest ever FDI of $84.8 billion in services. That's a crazy amount of money flowing from foreign VCs to India. And you know what's even crazier? The money your uncle, auntie, nana, nani are sending back home.
वेलकम टू शाम तक। रिसेंट खबरों के हिसाब से इंडिया की फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट को बीट कर दिया है एक नए वेंचर कैपिटल फंड ने, जिसका नाम है NVC, नानी वेंचर कैपिटल फंड। आज हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में है नानी जी, जो कि CEO है NVC की। नानी जी, प्लीज लेट अस नो मोर अबाउट योर जर्नी।
80 साल की हो गई, बहुत पैसा, डॉलर जो ठहरा। हमारा ओल्ड एज होम में भी सबका वही हाल था, तो हमने सोचा एक स्टार्टअप खोल लेते, तो देश की भी तरक्की हो जाती और हमारा नानी बनने का फर्ज भी पूरा हो जाता है। आ रही हूँ मैं शार्क टैंक में, शार्क टैंक।
Yes, the
Come with the Shark Tank as a shark, you feel me? That's dope.
amount of money being saved and sent back home by these NRIs and OCIs is more than the FDI in India. The third leap in India's soft power is through the Indian startups. Traditionally, many Indian startups are inspired to start companies that already work in the West. Amazon started in US in 1994. 13 years later, we got Flipkart in India. Airbnb started in the US in 2008. 5 years later, we got Oyo Rooms here. Uber started in the US in 2009. 1 year later, we had Ola. But
That's
today,
crazy.
this trend is changing. Now startups from other countries are being inspired from Indian startups, like Multiple, which we spoke about earlier. So don't forget to check them out from the link in description, especially if you want to improve your savings. India
I do.
literally went from being a nation that seek to copy business playbooks from startups from the West to being the nation which has now become the trendsetter for startups globally. Look at this tweet by Ankur Nagpal. The evidence for this is in the data we found in Bloom's Indus Valley Report 2023. India is the 4th largest country in terms of venture capital investments and comparatively gets more funding than its contribution to the global GDP. Now, what does this mean for India's brand internationally? This flow of money makes India and Indian companies attractive for entrepreneurs and employees. The Indian kid who wanted to go to Harvard, take on debt, and then start a company can do that right here, right now in India. The employees who want attractive salaries don't need to work for a US back office in India anymore. They can just work for Indian companies. India is positioning itself as a center for innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth by becoming a significant player in the global VC investment landscape. India, in fact, overtook China by adding 23 new unicorns in 2022. In fact, speaking of investments,
Bro.
the bonus leap in India's soft power, and the last one is
India on the up and up. India on the rise. Watch out for India. They definitely on their way to becoming the next global superpower. Everybody love them. Everybody see they on the rise. Everybody see they on the up and up. And everybody like, hey, India, let's be friends. Hey, India, let's be allies. Hey, India, let us invest over there. Hey, India. Cause you feel me?
India's attitude. So, the country Switzerland is the gold standard of neutrality. Drawing inspiration from that, India was the first to adopt the strategy of non-alignment. Non-alignment was a word made famous by V.K. Krishna Menon. He also wrote the first draft of the preamble to the Constitution. In simple terms, non-aligned is not taking a side. By laying the foundation stone of non-alignment movement, India was able to establish a significant role for itself as a leader of the newly independent world and in the multilateral organizations like the United Nations. The 5 core principles of non-alignment are mutual respect for territories, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference in domestic affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. Initially, these principles backfired, like during Sino-Indian War, because India was non-aligned and India was also isolated. But over the past decades, India has traded, held, and cultivated its relations with other countries. India has become an allied nation with many countries, and now the same non-aligned strategy is working in India's favor. Say what you will about the Modi government, but they have stuck to these non-alignment principles every step of the way. At the beginning of the Russia and Ukraine war, India condemned Russia's actions but abstained from voting against Russia and stood non-aligned and maintained its relations. Many nations like the US and Germany, who did vote against Russia, are facing the backlash from their citizens right now. All this soft power gained from this action will be critical if there's a clash between India and China in the future. Because India has made allies with some of the most powerful nations like US, UK, France, Russia, UAE, and many more. If there's a threat to India, these countries will step in, not just for goodwill, but to protect their country's trade interests. I can go on about the different ways India has developed its soft power, but you can see it unfold with your own eyes in the coming years. The same way, see our content as soon as it releases by subscribing to Aevy TV. We will keep bringing you fresh content, teach you about everything from world news to India's startup ecosystems, along with also keeping you informed about which startups or products you should look out for.
Yeah, I gotta subscribe to the channel. That's incredible, dog. India over there sitting pretty right now. And everybody see they definitely becoming very popular. That's all we got. Make sure y'all subscribe. Ring the notification bell. Get the video a thumbs up. It's your boy D-Nia. Out.